Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charmaine, and for today's video, as promised, I will be testing out the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter that I recently hauled in my Sephora haul last video. I was gonna say last week, but it was last week, but it was last video. I'll link it up here if you want to check it out. I think it's gonna be pretty thundery and rumbly throughout this entire video, and it might start raining, sadly, but nothing much I can do about like the thunder. If you didn't know, I've been adding like subtitles to my videos, so if I start getting a little hard to understand because of like the sounds, or because of the train, and also sometimes I just stumble and then also like sometimes because I kind of stumble over my words. I started doing subtitles, so if you want to turn that on, that might help you understand how everything's going and what I'm saying. Anyways, I promised in my previous video that I was gonna create a whole separate video for this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter because it's exciting enough that it deserves its own video. At least I'm very excited about it. It's quite an old product by now, but it's still like one of those like, I think it's like one of those products that have reached a cult favorite status in the beauty community. I've actually used it once yesterday for a makeup look. I was supposed to film this yesterday, but I really didn't feel like it, and thankfully I didn't, because I think my skin was super like crusty. Like it was overdue for like some exfoliation, and it was looking really like tired and dull, and things didn't really stay on very well, and everything was sitting on top of my skin. I think I'm just really very bad with like exfoliating my skin regularly. I do exfoliate it regularly with like my salicylic acid cleanser and my glycolic acid cleansers, but I think really scrubbing and using an actual exfoliant, I don't do that as much. So yeah, I did that last night, so today my skin is a lot glowier and less crusty. Actually not crusty at all anymore, thankfully. Yesterday's makeup look is a video on Instagram that I will be posting either a little bit before or after this video, so if it's up already, I will link it down below for you to check it out. But there's already a picture out, so I'll show you how crusty everything looked. I just uploaded it this morning. So I kind of used this as a foundation yesterday. I don't think it's supposed to be a foundation. It's tagged as a foundation on Sephora, I think. You can use it as a foundation, but it doesn't really have that much coverage. If you know me, you know that I don't really care about like super high coverage things. For today's makeup look, I'm gonna do something quite similar. There's a lot of different ways that you can use this product. So you can actually use this as like a liquid highlighter on top of your foundation, and after everything's done, you can just use this to top it off. Or you can use this as a primer before your foundation, mix it in with your foundation, or use this as your main foundation. I imagine that I can actually try using this with like a higher coverage foundation on top to just amp up the glow a little bit. I'm not gonna do that today. I want to just really get acquainted to this product even more than I did yesterday, because I think that just one use was not enough. And I think with that, I'm just going to do my base with this. Starting now. This foundation has like I'm just gonna start applying it the way I did yesterday. This foundation has a really like, do I call this a foundation or do I call this like a filter in a bottle? What do we call this product? So this product has like almost no coverage. Not really almost no coverage, but it has way less coverage than you would expect a normal foundation to have, which is not really a bad thing in my opinion. It has the texture of like foundation, almost, not really. It feels like skincare actually. And I don't think it really has a smell, which is great for me. I used the brush to kind of blend it all out like a foundation brush, as I usually do. You will see it sort of like covers my acne a little bit, but as I blend it out, you will see that it doesn't really do a lot of covering. It just sort of gives my skin this nice glowy wet skin looking filter. Let me do half my face so that we can compare. So we got my forehead and my right cheek done, and you can see when I move my light in the head, okay, when I move my head in the light, it catches a lot of light, and it just makes my skin look a lot more hydrated without the oiliness that usually comes with this sort of look. It doesn't feel oily, and it's really lightweight, and it doesn't feel like anything on your skin. I like that it's not drying as well. My skin looks really nice right now. It looks so hydrated. It's really like a filter, like a perfect skin filter almost. I'm gonna go in with my Becca Light Shifter Brightening Concealer, just following the steps I did yesterday, just to complete the look. This is also about the same thing, it's just a concealer, so It's also illuminating, not really much coverage, but just really nice for like that dewy skin glow. I just treat this as like a highlighter almost, and I'ma layer it on top of where I have more like acne scarring and stuff, just to help brighten the area and give it that minuscule amount of coverage that you can get with this. And I'm gonna blend it all out. It's not gonna give a lot of coverage, this one, but it does really give a little bit more coverage than this Charlotte Tilbury thing does, which overall would be enough if you have like quite good skin, or if you don't really care about letting your flaws shine through. I feel like these two products work very well together, like because they feel like such similar products where both are lightweight and both are like radiance giving products that doesn't contain any shimmers, and it doesn't really interrupt the final results as well. They just work very harmoniously together. This product, the Charlotte Tilbury product, it doesn't emphasize the texture on my skin a lot. Like yesterday I had a lot of texture on my skin, so it was really like crusty and dry and kind of peeling. But usually if I use another product, I think more of the foundation would catch on my skin and make it look a lot worse, like I cannot work with it. But for this product, I feel like it doesn't do that for my skin. Like it sort of helps hide that look a little, even though it was really bad. Like I could see like peeling going on around my skin, and the product wasn't really sitting well on my skin. It was just floating on top. But even then, it wasn't super ugly. Like I could still walk out of the house if I need to with that quality of makeup on, and I think that it's all because of how that foundation performs and behaves on my skin. So needless to say, today when my skin is a lot better and it behaves more like skin and less like a peely piece of sandpaper, it works a lot better. And actually I think for today, because I'm feeling really good on my skin, I'm not gonna go in with my RMS concealer to like cover up more of my acne scarring and my pimple over here, my glorious cute little pimple in the middle of my forehead. There's like a hair just on my skin. Okay, I got it out. I've been sitting here talking for like a good maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes, maybe 5. Let's just call it 5 minutes. And it has already set down quite a bit, so it's not really like slipping anywhere. Like when I was trying to pick that piece of hair out of my face, it kind of dug a hole and it didn't really go back down. Like it's not as easy to blend out. That's how you know that it formed like a layer and it's set on my skin. So it's something that will remain as it is for a long time. Enough talk. I'm gonna show you like a close-up of my skin. I don't think it looks like my skin, but better. It just looks like I've got good skincare on. Like it doesn't look like makeup, I think. Yeah, it doesn't look like makeup at all. It might veer on a little too glowy for some people. I can see that happening. I can see that complaint. So I think if you're not someone who really likes that super glowing look, then maybe top it off with some powders. Actually, let me just do that so that, like, for signs. I'm gonna use my Cezanne powder. This is my Cezanne UV Clear Face Powder. It's just a compact powder, like a traditional compact powder, but it's not fully translucent, but it's not very heavy in coverage. It's also sort of radiance giving as well, but it does help matte out the skin a little bit without taking away the glow. So I'm going to try to use this a little under my eyes and see if we can take down the shine over here, so that if you're concerned about this part being a little too shiny and around your nose, you can go into some powder. I'm gonna use this, it's supposed to be a foundation brush. It's a little stiff, but it's the only clean brush I have that is of the correct size for under my eyes. So we're gonna use this. It's from Makeup Revolution. Something fluffier would probably work better, but we're just gonna make do with what we got. We're gonna do like here. I think you might have to set down the lid, definitely, because it's still a little more on the radiant side, so it might crease. And I'm going to focus my powder on this area over here. I do like this area highlighted actually, but for signs we're gonna do this. And I think if I were the one doing this, I would probably matte down this area around my nose so that it doesn't reflect as much light. That's how it looks with some powder on. This powder is good because it doesn't really super duper matte out the skin, which I don't think it's something you want if you're looking at getting this product, because this product is a radiance giving product. But if it's too much glow, I think a setting powder with a little bit of a radiance giving factor like this one might help. It doesn't really fully take away whatever radiance there is underneath, which is good. I think all in all, this is quite a nice product. That's an honest statement. I think I really do like this product. I'm not regretting getting this product at all. If you've watched my haul video, you'll know that I wasn't lamenting the price, but I was saying that it's very seldom that I do get something that's pricey. It was $76, I think, on Sephora in Singapore. So it's more on the pricier side for me right now when I'm a little bit more constrained. Like my budget's a little tighter. I'm not gonna powder the other eye because I just want to see how it lasts throughout the day. I will be monitoring this for the rest of the day. It's around like maybe 5 p.m. or something right now. So if you go down to my description box right now, you will see probably a couple of lines of my thoughts on how it lasted with the powder and without the powder and stuff. And hopefully that will be more helpful to you in terms of like knowing the longevity of stuff. Okay, I'm feeling a little dull right now with nothing else on my skin as I'm talking. So let me just put on some stuff that I would usually put on for this sort of look. It's basically the look that I did yesterday, but broken down, talk through with you. I'm using my RMS eye polish in Lucky, which is this really nice copper rose gold tone that I really enjoy using. I don't use this enough, but it's a really nice cream shadow that I love, especially for low maintenance looks like what I'm doing right now. So I just like to apply this onto my lids and under my eyes, and I like to just keep this as like a one eyeshadow sort of look. And this is also part of the reason why I like to not powder my eyes, because I think this product works a lot better without powdering my eyes. And I like to take just the same color, which is sort of bronzy, over my cheeks to sort of act as like a bronzier blush tone sort of. I like how it ties everything in together. It's also glowy and metallic, so it plays well with our Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter base today. Then I'm gonna go in with my Fenty cream blush. I have it in the shade Daiquiri Deep, which is this really nice red color. It's really bright, but I like how it is like on my cheeks and on my lips, especially when I blend it out well. Just looks really nice as like a flush, and it makes me look a lot healthier. Okay, then I'm actually going to go back into my eye polish again, same color, only have one color. I'm gonna put that on top of my lips as well. I just want to tone down the red a little and add a little bit more brown tones into my lips so that it doesn't look too, I don't know, lipsticky. I'm gonna add some eyeliner to my eyes with my Fenty Beauty shade in the shade. What's the shade's name? Glamour Camo. It's that charcoal shade. I'm just going to sort of give my eyes a little bit of a lift. You can always opt for like no wings, and you can always use a lighter color if you are going for that super no makeup look. Like this brown would be very good for that. And I'm gonna go run my fingers through once to just smudge everything out and make it look less like an actual line and more like a shadow. And I really do like how that shadow of a line sort of idea works with a more natural look like this. So it kind of looks like you tried, kind of looks like you might have placed down some eyeliner at the start of the day, but it's now like almost at the end, and you just have like naturally good skin and your eyeliner's fading a little bit, but it kind of faded in a very nice and elegant way. That's sort of like the vibe that we're going for. I'm gonna use a brown mascara. This is almost black actually. It's my Maybelline Snap Mascara. I just don't want a straight up black mascara because I want to keep this as light as possible, but I still want some lashes. We're not trying to build this up and clump this up too much. Just one single coat very briefly on the tops, and if you want, you can always try to get it on your bottoms as well. Doing mascara on my bottom lashes is always like a challenge, but it's so important for my lashes because I have none. It's a lot different from yesterday's look. Yesterday I did like a hot pink lip, a faded out hot pink lip, and then I kind of forgot to blend out the blush that I put in this area over here. That's embarrassing, but I'm still gonna post that video. Even though this is only my second time using this product, I can safely say that I really love this product, and I will definitely be trying out new ways to use this. Other than just using this as a foundation on its own, I might just try using this as like a highlighter in another video sometime soon. And with that, I think we are at the end of today's video. I think we've finally managed to create like a really short one. Hopefully it's a short one. I've done so many long videos, oh my god, and I am so sorry. And hopefully you learned something good from this video. I hope you enjoyed this video a lot. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel down below. And if you're not following me on Instagram yet, do go down to the link below and click on that video to check it out, and then maybe give me a follow or check out the rest of my content later after you watch that video, and hopefully give me a follow as well. And with that, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!